Hey, been pretty sick the past couple days, but I figured I'd try and do one of these. This is actually one of myself, from our most recent Plat match versus Momentum Mori. I think I did a pretty decent job of keeping myself alive, and I think it also does a good job of showcasing how to push and how to hold on this map, at least in the current, North American Plat meta. The way my team plays this map is we try to go left side, or the ramp side for mids, and then this is where we hold too, and then all of our other pushes are from the top right. So, I try to keep a decent distance at the start from the top left in case there's soldier bombs early, and then I try to put as many heals as I can on demo. It's generally, I know it's going to be safe to peek the point a little bit because their sniper's going to be sitting with the combo top left. We do have some stuff behind us. The thing about Ashville, you're very rarely not going to have things behind you. It's pretty tough to hold the flank by yourself. Right here we get their medic, so I pop. This pop was a bit too early, and I do a pretty bad job. I drop our heavy and our scout on it. So because of that, we start getting ready to back up. I thought our demo was still in, so I walked forward a little, and I wasn't doing a good enough job looking up here at the top left. But just touching on what I said earlier, like, you can't realistically prevent things from getting behind you on the side that your combo isn't holding. So what our team ended up doing is, our NG would be in the shutter, our combo would be on the left, and very rarely would we have people who actually hold the top right, because it's just too easy for them to get picked off. And then once things get behind you, you just have to make sure that you keep an eye out for them. But anyways, so since with that Uber I dropped so many people, we start just trying to spam passively, and I needed to be in a better position. Again, I wasn't doing a good enough job of looking at the top left at that house, which is why I just sort of died to that soldier bomb very easily. Now, luckily we had a decent number of picks, and we don't actually end up losing the point here. So shutter's the quickest way to point. Only go out shutter if you know where their sniper is, really. I really like what our heavy does. He just stands on point with the Gru, and anything that wants to stop him from capping has to commit really hard. Like you saw their Pyro tried to stop that cap, had to walk into him and try and... It's really hard to do enough damage to get a Fist of Steel heavy off the point. We do know that I died earlier than their medic, so after we get the cap, we move back to our hold here. And the goal of this hold right now, if they were to push, would just be to force them and then kite shutter. The thing about Ashville is that when you have the point, you can let the point get capped before you go to fight it, which is what we do right here. We notice that they've gotten all the way to point, and they're looking at that top left area, so we just try and repush from shutter. It doesn't go as well as it could have, so because we lost that, we moved to top right, and this is where all of our pushes come from, is this top right area. And so that means that now we have no one on the left, and their flank can get behind left, but generally if their flank is going all the way behind while we're pushing, it's just another person that they're down. Their demo was trying to play up on the hut to the top right, and he got taken out by our scout and sniper, which means a pretty easy retake. Once it's clear that we've won the point back, I move to the left, and I'm probably not looking for spy enough here. I don't know if he could be dead, I guess, but... So yeah, now that we're in this hold, what you'll see now that we're set up is we focus really heavily on this top left, because a lot of teams want to push from up there like we did, so we just try to make sure that our demo and our scout are able to keep them spammed back, and I keep our heavy healed behind in case there's a soldier bomb so he doesn't die. This also gives us a very good idea of when the soldier bomb is coming from the enemy team, so that our scout's able to do a lot to deny it, and I'm able to kite it very well. And you can see how hard their team has to commit and how early they're going to have to use to win these fights, or to even take these Ubers. And then at the end of the fight, like you saw, that's when our heavy comes in and tries to start like blocking the point. Thereafter, Uber fight goes better than ours. We did lose a couple people before the Uber, so we just move right back to this top right push as soon as we see that their heavy was close shutter and try to kill him. You can see our heavy got really hurt there and decided to just eat sandwich, which that's very good to do as heavy. It takes the stress off your medic to try and get a lot of heals on, because it takes a while to heal a hurt heavy to 300 if he doesn't have crit heals. Now, normally we hold from the top left, but in this situation, they had just Ubered on point, and this was the closest place to get to where that I wasn't really going to be forcible. And then we bring our Uber back in to try and kill their medic. I don't think we get him. It probably wasn't a great Uber to try and take in. We could have been more successful just holding far back. Oh yeah, our spy is able to get him at the end. I think the Uber was probably a little too aggressive for when we had the point. The call was to take the Uber in though, and like, you don't really want to, as medic, if somebody calls to take an Uber and you don't have time, like, you can't really call that off. You have to just go with it. You don't want to let your demo walk in and die, and if your demo and scout walk in and die because they thought they were going to get Ubered and you didn't pop, like, it doesn't matter whether or not it was going to be a good Uber. That's worse than, that's just the worst thing that can happen, even if you live with your own Uber. So we did kill their medic, so right now I commit to this fight because I know I can get Uber, and we just want to block. I drop our demo, which is bad of me. I shouldn't be milking an Uber that hard with, like, this amount of time left. And I don't know, at this point the round was sort of over, so I just did something stupid. Our spawns are sort of awkward because we're on the right side, but we want to go to the left side, so that's why we take this route, but whatever way is fastest for you to get to where you want to roll out. Once again, trying to get a lot of heals on my scout to deny a soldier bomb. We get Girardi'd a lot this game, which does sort of fuck us over. Their medic goes down to a backstab here, so our demo just tries to get damage out. I make sure that I put heals on him, and I make sure that I keep alternating between looking behind us and top right. I like post-tough break update. Crossbowing your heavy whenever you can is really useful. This cap is really tough to get during the mid-fight, with no spawn advantage for either team. So right now I should be looking for spies though with nothing happening. So it was sort of lucky that I didn't die there. I probably milked a little too hard that time. You can see our demo got down to 15. So probably a little bit of a misplay for me. If our demo had died there, that would have been a lot worse. As it is, we get enough picks that we can sort of play off our heavy and sniper and try to delay the cap. But and since their medic died on mid, we're going to have about 20% disadvantage at this point, which means that we're going to try and push before either of us get Uber, or at least, at the very least, start making space now. So you can see we get our demo and our soldier are the most important parts of this push. Here I lag out for a second. Sort of lucky that I didn't die to those stickies. So that put me in a really bad position lagging out because I wasn't able to buff our soldier. But anyways, what happens in a lot of our pushes is you just heard our soldier bomb over. Once he gets onto them, he's the distraction, and then we take the Uber in. The Uber wasn't as good as I would have liked, just because that pyro was there to deny us, so we just back up and get ready for their repush. You can see Girardi is fucking us up a bunch of times. There's not really much you can do that. You can see right there our demo just died to another, like, spam crit rocket, mini crit rocket. Right here, I call that our soldier should be taking heals, because he's still in a decent position to try and lock down people from getting here. onto this point, but without support, he just sort of gets rushed down by the scout. The thing is, though, when it's clear that you're going to lose to the point, you can be a lot more, not as medic as anyone else, you can be a lot more careless with your life, almost, because if you die and you kill someone as they're capping, you spawn right away and they spawn a lot longer. Like, you can see our soldiers already back in time for this push. So in a sec he's gonna bomb over. Oh, we lose demo here, right. We lose demo here, so our soldier just bombs for a force. And I think he doesn't get it, he gets shut down by Geosis. This is what you don't want to do. Like, you can see, our demo died, so our soldier went right after him, because they'll be on at least a similar spawn wave. But then we just sort of keep losing people one by one. And they do a really good job in this mid-round hold of, like, shutting us down. We decide to go top left, which isn't really where we like to push from, but at this point, like, all of our top right holds, our top right pushes keep getting fucked up, so I wait for a sniper to take a shot, and then we just sort of trade Ubers and hope that we win an after fight. This was a pretty poor push, all things considered, but we're able to win the after fight just by... Oh no, we don't win the after fight, no. Yeah, you can see when you pop in that early, it's really tough to have a better fight than the other team. So, when I spawn, with us not having killed their medic, we're going to, basically we're just going to try and dry push before they get Uber, and then hope that we can force them later. We decide to go out Shutter, just based on where they're holding. They have a soldier top left here, so I'm trying to wait for him to die before I walk out. Or at least get pressured back. And I want to make sure that I keep my sniper and demo healed here, because losing either of them makes the push a lot easier for the other team. That soldier does go down to our soldier coming from behind. Okay, yeah. And then right here, basically completely inexcusable death to get stabbed, especially where I hear the heavy get stabbed first. There's no reason to die to that, like, just a stab that happens in the middle of no fight or anything. I need to be, like, turning around more. And then, oh, fuck. So this is, like, a really bad situation. They're pushing with full Uber, and I just spawned and no one's buffed. And, like, very luckily, our sniper headshots their medic and he drops. This round probably should have been a loss. It was a really, really big misplay out of their medic to die right there. Like, in a situation like that, you just have to, like, pop early if there's any risk of you dropping. Especially where even after their Uber, it would have been equal Ubers, and they still could have tried another push. Like, it's not worth, like, milking there for an extra second. I do know that it was a very good shot that our sniper hit to drop their medic there. So, credit to him as well. And then right here, I'm just trying to make sure that I'm playing as safe as possible. Trying to keep our scout healed in this top left area. Okay, so they get forced really early, so I milk. I didn't milk as hard as I could have because the Girardi on me was sort of scaring me, and it's a lot easier for something random to happen. Plus, the goal of that Uber was just to have a better Uber than them and then get our heavy in a good position on point. Once our heavy got to point with 450 and he was in that corner where no one could pressure him, that we basically won that round. Which is why I wanted to, like, I made sure to bring him on the Uber and get him just across point so that he could be in front of it like a wall that no one could walk through. Alright, so same thing this mid, heals on demo and scout. I eat a lot of spam at the start, so I get a sandwich. I don't let the fact that I got spammed a lot mean that I'd, like, stop healing people, which is something that a lot of newer medics will do, is if they drop to red health, they'll just back so far up, and doing that is sort of it's gonna screw your team over really hard if you, like, basically just give up heals on anyone who's in a position to fight, because you drop to red health. We do back up here once we get Girardi'd and lose position. Our mids were pretty weak overall. I don't think we win I think we win maybe the first mid, but we don't even win the mid, we win like a second mid. But what's important is that we always had people up to repush afterwards. And here's the push that we practiced. Our soldier bombs over. He gets a drop on their med, so because of that, I just pop right away. A few things about that is that if you pop right now, it's better than if you milk the Uber and then get forced later. That'll actually give them advantage, versus if you just pop right away, it's basically a free Uber, and like now it's just equal, but they still have to push. We actually have about 10% add, just because of how the spawns and the Uber timings worked, but... So we do lose our demo here, so our hold is more heavy and sniper focused now. Our scout's able to get a lot of work done too. It could definitely be more spy aware right now. And their medic dies again, so... Once their medic dies in this situation, I'm calling for a heavy to get out because we're gonna have 100% Uber advantage. So, I don't really want to risk getting forced when we're not ready to push. It was worth trading damage with them there because their heals aren't here yet. So we're able to get it, so this push will be a lot easier just because of the damage that we got there. They have to play really passive. Once again, our soldier bomb's over. And what he's doing with his bomb, he isn't even necessarily going for kills, he's just making space. Like, you can see he bombed on top of the hut, and then he just, once they were all looking at him, he just jumped away. And what that did is it meant that, like, nobody on their team could really be, like, aggressively focusing on stopping us from getting in. They were all focused on that soldier, and then even he still lived through that bomb. Like, after he jumped them, he jumped out to the side, so all he did was he just made a bunch of space so that our Uber could get even deeper before we used, and he stayed alive doing it. And those that bomb is what makes this push so so easy to execute, is that like whipping and bombing makes you very hard to kill, so the other team has to focus on you a lot, and makes it so that you can still get out pretty easily too. We lose our sniper here, which sort of sucks, but this point is sort of more holdable without a sniper than other ones, because you can still play the corner, and you can play people up top. So it's not one of the times that you just have to give up your hold because your sniper goes down. We call for this Uber because their medic gets really extended. He actually went into under and died to a roller there. I lag out for a sec, but after this I just want to get back to our hold top left. I should have gotten whipped by my soldier, so it's harder for me to get sniped, but whatever. We're doing a really good job of keeping their demo down, especially against this team where their demo is really the only person who will call. Keeping their demo down goes a long way towards slowing down their pushes. Once our demo goes down, we start thinking about moving towards a repush from somewhere else. This is a pretty tough area to hold without a demo. We sort of just play off our heavy and sniper for a bit. Since we did kill their medic with that last Uber, we know we have add, so it's just important for me not to die. And I want to keep our sniper up here. Having a sniper during pushes and whenever is always good. Right here, I'm waiting for a call on the sniper, and I'm waiting for the soldier to die before I walk out. And while that's happening, our team sort of just wins the fight before we even get in. So we did a good job of playing buffs and playing positioning, where we were able to spam them out just with the threat of Uber and not even using, because with us having add, their medic didn't want to die, so he had to back up. We do take longer to get this cap than I would have liked, and right there I decided, with their combo so far away, and our demo was like 10 HP with nothing loaded, even if I had popped on him, it wasn't going to be a good Uber. So we just, I sort of just hope that he doesn't die, and know that if he does, at least we still have an Uber when he comes back, like an Uber that'll do something. And finally we get that cap. It took us another like 20 seconds, but it's the same thing. We did it with positioning and the threat of Uber, and if they had tried to come in to block us, I was so far back that their Uber would have taken forever to force me. They're on quick fix here, which is why our heavy was playing closer and our demo was playing further back. Instead of like a typical hold, like our hold normally, which was our heavy playing further back. So we switched that because we knew that they were on quick fix, and heavy has higher DPS to melt the quick fix Uber. So really, I think the biggest thing that I wasn't doing is I wasn't paying attention to spy enough, but luckily we had a really good pyro. But yeah, you could see that I wasn't turning around nearly as much as I should have been. Had their spy been more focused on me, there were probably more times that he could have killed me, even though my combo does a good job of spy checking for me too. So I'd say that's, yeah, probably the biggest thing that I did wrong, and it seemed like we did lose a bunch of times. There were people dying before Ubers that I was maybe milking too hard on, so maybe just don't be afraid to pop like a couple milliseconds earlier, really, to just make sure that no one's dying, because we did lose a scout on a couple Ubers, we did lose a demo on a couple Ubers, and that'll really fuck you over. But anyways, I hope it's useful to see this.